Hey everyone, I'm Carly from Unveiling University, and yes, I am in my car, but I thought that I would try and give you a short summary of my first month and a week of college. So today I'm working at the Family and Friends weekend football game because I work for the bookstore, which means I also work for Bare Necessities, and this is at the University of Maine in Orono. So my job has been good. I work about 8 hours a week, and every few weekends I work a football game, which is a longer shift. I think we're put in from 9 to 6, but last time we got out like about an hour early, which was nice. So my schedule. My schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Classes are nearly identical, and same with Tuesday and Thursday. On Mondays, I begin at 9 a.m. with my Psychology 100 lecture. And this is a big class. It's 350-ish people, I think, in a big lecture hall. But I've been doing fine. It's actually really easy. I have Professor Gunther, and we have an online reading for one chapter each week. And it's pretty easy. And then we just take a quiz over that chapter, and we can do it as many times as we want using any notes we've taken and using the book. So it's very low stress and very simple. I don't know that I've learned a lot and I'm remembering a lot from it, but it's a nice way to start my Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. And then after that, I have an hour break on Mondays, a 2-hour break on Wednesday and Friday. Because on Monday is the only day that I have my education in human development seminar class. It's a very small class. I think we're less than 15, and we're all secondary education majors. And we basically it's more of an advising kind of class to make sure that we're settling in and we recognize all the resources that there are on campus. And some of it does cater, most of it does cater specifically to secondary education opportunities. We've had the people that run tutoring and mentoring for local young students. They've come in and talked to us. We also had study abroad, and there are special study abroad programs where you can student teach abroad in your final semester, which they did bring up. So yes, that class is very easy as well and very small, which is nice. Then directly after that at 12 on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I have my calculus lecture. So my professor, I don't know that he's ever taught before. He's at least new to UMaine and to the United States. He is from Ireland, Northern Ireland. And he definitely knows what he's talking about. He just doesn't necessarily know how to teach it. Luckily for me, it's only Calculus 1, and I did take a calculus class in my high school, so it's not been too challenging so far. It's been more relearning what I already know, so it's not a major struggle. But people who haven't taken calculus before, it is a bit more of a struggle. And then I have an hour break, which I normally go to the library during my breaks to get some work done, so I can just sit down and get into it. I sometimes stay in Neville Hall, which is where both my psychology and calculus classes are, so I'll just sit there for the 2 hours in between on Wednesday and Friday sometimes. But this past week I didn't have calculus because my professor got COVID, so I had 4-hour breaks. So I just spent that whole time in the library. So yes. Then my last class on Monday, Wednesday, Friday is at 2, and it is my Spanish 203, which is Intermediate Spanish 1 class. So my Spanish teachers in middle school and high school, they were not native Spanish speakers. They were all Americans who learned Spanish. One of my high school Spanish teachers did go to college in Mexico, so she has had real life experience, and I'm not saying they were bad Spanish tutors at all. I really loved all of them. But now I have a professor who is from Mexico, and she speaks in Spanish like almost all the time. So it's not something I'm totally unused to, but it is quite different because she doesn't often repeat herself in English as my past teachers would have. So it's been a challenge, and like our book sometimes has like sections all in Spanish, and it's been a little bit of a challenge for me, but one that I've enjoyed. She has forced me to, work on my speaking and listening skills, which I do feel that I lack, but are also really important in communicating with others. So I'm very glad for this challenge and opportunity for my Spanish class. So that is my Monday, Wednesday, Friday classes. Then I usually just go straight home. There are some clubs that I've signed up for, like Argentine Tango Club, but it's on Mondays at 6 to 8, and I don't feel strongly enough about Argentine Tango to stay that late, just for that opportunity, especially when on Mondays I'm trying to get ahead on my homework for the week and make sure that I'm staying on top of everything and not falling behind. So yeah, I just usually go home, eat supper with my family, and work on my homework. And then Tuesday and Thursday, I actually start the day with 4 hours of work on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I work at the bookstore on campus, and yeah, so I'll work from 8 to 12. So that's opening till midday, and I don't get a break during that time, which is fine. It's a nice way to start the day with people that I already knew and a few new coworkers that I met that didn't work over the summer, which was really nice. I really love all my coworkers. So it's a really nice way to start the day. And then after work, I have a half-hour break in which I normally eat a lunch before I have my Honors 111 seminar, which is, we read a book each week, and each week, before we discuss the book in class on Sunday, well, actually, she moved it back to Monday because people were struggling to turn it out by Sunday. We do a significant passage that we annotate and then write 2 paragraphs about its what it's saying and its significance. So far, we've read Braiding Sweetgrass. We did that over the summer by Robin Wall Kimmerer, and it was really good. I loved that book. And then after that, we moved on to the Torah. Then we read Inanna, which is myths from ancient Sumer or Mesopotamia. And then we just did American Indian myths and legends this week. And next week, so what I have due for tomorrow is about Sappho, a Sappho collection called If Not Winter, and she was an ancient Greek poet. So the readings are certainly interesting. I do struggle to talk in class because that's just not my thing, and we do have discussions, so I don't know what my grade's looking like in there. I try to talk every once in a while, and most teachers, when they want people to talk who haven't really talked, she'll call on me and I'll answer to the best of my abilities. So after that, I have an hour break, and then I go to my calculus recitation. So on Tuesdays in my calc recitation, we usually do group work. We have course packs and we do group work. Our TA, he has a very strong African accent, so at times he can be difficult to understand, but he is very good at showing his work on the board and explaining through the problems that we need to do. So I really like him. And and then on Thursdays we take our quizzes in there, which they're usually quite short, more basic problems. They don't really try to trip you up with really complex problems, which is nice. I do enjoy that. And they're usually graded within a week. I don't pay a huge amount of attention, but I think usually when we go back on to that next Tuesday, they have our graded quizzes ready for us. So that would be the end of my day on Thursdays, and then I would just go home at 3:30 because that class is at 2:30 to 3:30. And on Tuesdays, I have my honors lecture, which is from 3:30 to 5:30, even though most of them have been actually ending at 5. So that will be a guest lecturer that comes in to talk about the text that we just read. And then I'm expected to, for my seminar class, to write a reflection on the lecture, which is just things that interested me, or I had questions about, or how it connected to my life. So I think the lectures are really interesting, usually. Some of them not so much as others, because they aren't, like the last one, he didn't really talk about the Native American myths. He talked more about Native American storytelling, which was interesting, but really difficult to relate to the book. And so that is my schedule. And I mean, there's not a lot more to talk about. I did sign up for a few clubs at the club fair the first Wednesday, but I haven't actually attended any of them because the times are just not overly convenient for me being a commuter student, because I don't really have the drive to stay after. And I'm working on organizing study abroad. I'm going to try and get some meetings together to learn if my scholarship will cover it, if what semester is best for me to go. I'm thinking probably sophomore year, and then where I want to go. Haven't really decided that yet either. I have made a few new acquaintances. I wouldn't quite call them friends yet. Like, I'm not inviting them over to my house, texting them, or anything like that. But there's a girl in my education class who I really like. And she's also in my psych class. So we do talk a bit, especially on Mondays when we have our education class together. And I'm also, one of my best friends from high school also came here, and she's also a commuter. So a lot of times we'll meet up in the library and try to get work done instead of talking. So overall, college is going pretty well for me, and I will check in, I don't know, in a few weeks, or maybe even at the end of the semester. If you have any questions about any specific classes that I mentioned, feel free to leave a comment or email unveilinguniversity@gmail.com. I will see you in a later video. Goodbye.